We will be going live at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, so we got about 4 minutes. Oh, it is 8 p.m. on the dot. Hello, good people. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing out there today? Today is Wednesday, Hump Day. How is Hump Day treating you? You being productive today? For those on the Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, you are halfway there. 2 more days. And it is the weekend. Welcome to Family Talk. We're going to talk about the things that are affecting the world around us. Today, I'm going to stay away from news topics that are in the news for the most part. And I'm going to reflect on some conversations I've had about relationships with folks. And I hope you will join me on this journey. The link to join the conversation is in the Facebook comment section. And for those on YouTube, the comments section has the link as well. See if I can pin this so it's always at the top. Pin comment. Boom. All right, I have pinned the link to join in the comment section of Facebook and YouTube. Welcome, 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 everybody. It is Wednesday. Let's talk about it. What's going on at the job? How many of y'all ready to quit already? Some of y'all looking for a reason to quit. You just daring somebody at the job to say something to make you mad. Welcome to Family Talk, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, Dana Jane? We see you out there, girl. Send me your phone number. I got something to send to you. I don't have your current phone number. I had 2 different phone numbers for you, and the people who have those numbers are tired of me calling them. So I deleted them out of my phone. Send me your new contact information, darling. Hit me with a message on Facebook or whatever. We got some relationship discussions to talk about today. Some things just ain't sitting right in my spirit. What's going on, my squishy? I see you out there, darling, doing some old lady shit. I love you, girl. We got Kara in the house. Welcome, Kara. How does that volume sound? I hope everything is okay. Hope I'm not screaming in the mic. Levels look to be good on my end, but if it's too loud, please tell me. Yes, I see Erica decided to join us tonight. Welcome to the party, darling. Welcome to the party. Canceling that, not doing any polls tonight. Move that down to the side. Man. I have been having conversations with people about relationships, and I am absolutely blown away at some of the feedback I'm getting. Some of it, I must say, depending on the source, has been very good. Some of you I've had conversations with, and you've shared excellent perspectives with me. Ones that I think are rich in wisdom, rich in reality. That's something that's often missing nowadays, but rich in reality, and I appreciate those. There are some that leave me scratching my head, and that is a challenge. Let's talk about something, folks, and let's go ahead and jump into this. And let's address this from the male perspective first. As a man always knows where he fits into the male-female perspective when it comes to what his options are for a woman. I made a post on Facebook the other day and I said that men are never allowed the luxury of forgetting who they are, what they qualify for, far as a significant other, what their realistic dating pool is like, all the way back to kindergarten. I want everybody to think back to kindergarten, male or female. If you were in kindergarten, you knew that there were men, or excuse me, boys in kindergarten. If you're a lady, you know that you saw boys back in kindergarten and you looked at them and went, ugh. And let's get past the boys are icky and girls are icky type thing. You knew by the way you got treated by girls in kindergarten if you were what was a attractive type of boy. Let's fast forward this to middle school, where we're getting past the ick stage of boys and girls. Girls are now starting to notice boys, boys are starting to notice girls, and we starting to think somebody's cute. And back in the day, we would have wrote on a piece of paper, "Do you like me? Check yes, check no." That simple exercise was enough to level set a boy on what his options were looking like across the board. Not saying every girl thought he was, ugly or whatever, but even at that young age, girls had a understanding of who they thought was cute. And typically those girls would tend to feel the same way. So in 5th grade, a boy knew if, he had a possibility of getting a girlfriend, even at that stage. Kara said maybe 2nd grade. Okay. Even 2nd grade. Definitely. Doesn't matter. But the point is, whether it's kindergarten, 5th grade, 7th grade, freshman year of high school, or senior year of high school, a boy is well aware of what his possibilities are when it comes to finding a girlfriend, because he knows whether he has girls who think he's cute, whether he has girls flocking around him, or whether he doesn't. The point that I'm making is men have never, ever had to wonder where they stood in the pecking order when it comes to trying to find a relationship. Now, I'm not talking about relationships based on substance where people get to know your personality. We're talking about looks alone. Looks alone. You knew when you saw somebody and you went, "Ooh, he's cute." Ladies, you walk through the grocery store, you see a man today as a grown woman, you go, "Oh, he's handsome." Men, you walk through the store, you see a woman and go, "Ooh, she fine." You never, as a man, have to question whether you stood, because life has been so brutally honest for you that you already knew. I was born in the 70s, and back in the late 70s, early 80s, even through high school in the early 90s, the in thing back then for black men was light-skinned boys with pretty eyes, nice, good hair. Yeah, that's the thing in the black community, good hair, all of that type of situation. I didn't fit in any of those categories. I knew from kindergarten that I was not the physical presence that made some women just go, "Oh, you know what? He's cute." And there's going to be a lot of competition. I was never confused about that. As I got older, I had this big nose. I wore glasses. I cracked my skull years ago, so I got this weird shaped head. So there was never a question. I was going to be one of those guys who had to put in some work to get some coochie. Because remember, let's just be honest, cut all the fruits and bells out of this. At the end of the day, men are trying to get some coochie. Can we just say that, and can we be honest about that? Can we simply be honest and accept that, ladies, all of your life, once you reached a certain age, somebody has been trying to fuck you? Can we just be honest about that? It is not pretty. It is not PC. It's just the reality. Even if you are a lady today, you can be happily married. There is a work husband who's going, I wonder, can I get her to slip one time? As a single woman, there is always men jumping in your DMs, men hollering at you, whatever the case may be. They may not be men that you would like, but there is always an availability of male attention. Again, it may not be quality, but the quantity typically isn't hard to find for a woman. As a man, you have to do something to boost your chances. Now, if you're fortunate enough to be the captain of the football team, that alone got you some coochie. That got pussy being thrown at you. That got panties heading your way. Back in the 80s, if you were light-skinned with good hair, and don't be able to sing like Al B. Sure or somebody back then, do you wanna want, do you wanna want, rescue me? Oh, whatever the case may be. If you were just an average guy and you looked good, that alone was enough to get some women looking your way. And guys who were like me, and please understand, there's no hate on my side. I know the rules of the game, and I learned to play the game well. But back then, if you were light-skinned, good eyes, pretty hair, and don't have on some jabots back in the day, because some people could dress it up. Even though you may not have been the most handsome guy, if you had the money to dress it up with the nice clothes, then you had an opportunity. Kara's saying she disagreeing again. Let me know what you're disagreeing about, darling. So that's just the reality of a man's life. He knows where he always stands in life. As men get older, now men start to be able to recognize, I've got to do some things to increase my chances if I am not one of those naturally handsome guys with the best physique and whatever else the case may be. So the reality is, everybody as a man knows you have to adjust. If you were a guy who was fat, out of shape, hopefully you could join the football team and that would get you some girls. I got some classmates I remember from back in the day. These dudes would have normally never had no chance of getting a woman, but they were on the football team. So that got them a few extra points. That's the way the system works. I ain't mad at it. I know it. I've adjusted to it. I've lived it my entire adult life. Me, my personal situation, I had to learn how to tell some jokes. I learned that I wasn't light-skinned. I didn't have the pretty eyes, as they say, or, I had this big old nose with the glasses. But I've realized, women like a man who's funny. So I learned that I could laugh some panties off a woman. And that was my stick. Everybody got their stick. Then I also had to figure out, okay, what else can I do, since I wasn't with what was culturally in at that time? What else could I do to overperform? Okay, throw on the right clothes. And for me, it was never about the fashion, it was about more of a style. You know, I never bought Jabot jeans. I still don't understand why people, till this day, why people buy jeans with holes in them already. I don't get it. I've owned one pair of pants that had holes ripped in them before I bought them. And actually, my wife bought those for me. She knows it makes no sense to me. You know, I, I've never purchased a pair of Air Jordan shoes. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s watching Michael Jordan in Chicago firsthand, and I have never, ever owned a pair of Jordans. If I didn't own a pair of Jordans back then during the Michael Jordan era when I lived in Chicago, there's no need for me to do that now as an adult. I got my first pair of Jordans for my 50th birthday. My brother from Chicago said, you know what? I bought these for you because I know you would never buy them for yourself. So, you know, the whole fashion thing with, you know, buying the expensive clothes and the expensive shoes. I've always had my style that worked for me, and that was good. But men, we know that there are things we can do to improve our odds of being successful with women. Again, my thing was telling some jokes. Hey, Jessica, you damn right. Funny panties. Hell yes. I'd sit there and find a woman with the right jokes. She would be, oh boy, here, boy, go on, take some of this coochie. Here. You so funny. You make me so comfortable. Uh-huh. I was watching Eddie Murphy Raw back in the day before school, and Eddie was in Raw. He was like, well, listen, girl, won't you come back around my place and we sit and talk it over? A woman like you should be treated like a princess. I paid attention to that. But more importantly, what I paid attention to was men who taught me how to treat a woman and be a gentleman. And those characteristics got me a lot more coochie than being funny did. Make no mistake, being funny didn't hurt. But treating a woman like a gentleman is what was on my side when it came to boosting my opportunity for sexual attention from women. Girls, women, whatever you want to call it growing up. As a man, you still in here, Dana Dane? I met Dana Dane back in the early 90s. She was a college student. I was a young military troop. Now, as a my girl said, Erica said, I'm a gentleman now. Give me some pussy. Pretty much. Back in the 90s as a young military troop, you know, some women were attracted to that. It was the uniform. Some folks may know this about me, some may not, but I used to be a civilian police officer when I lived in Mississippi and in Louisiana. That uniform, coochie was being thrown at me left and right. I was dodging panties. I'd go to handcuff somebody, whoop, have to dodge a pair of panties come flying my way. I ride by in a police car. Hey, Mr. Officer. I'm just being honest. There's all little things that we can do. Let's just be honest here and talk about this. There are some people who simply had money. Those men with money, when I was growing up, back in Chicago, it was the drug dealers who had the nicest cars. Now, there were a few people who worked really hard, bought all their stuff legit, but they had the girls because they had the nice cars. Back then, we called those girls car booties because they always wanted a guy with a car. And regardless whether it was right, wrong, indifferent, whatever the case may be, we all remember in high school, there were some girls being picked up by grown ass men on some R. Kelly shit as freshmen in high school being picked up by guys in cars. These were grown fucking men. But they had, at the time, what was nice cars. They deemed to have money. They were deemed to have whatever. And that's what attracted women to them. Let's look at, I'm only going to use this name because it's a great example. No politics involved here. Do not go into politics with me on this, because that's not what the topic is tonight. How many women truly look at Donald Trump and think, ooh, I want to hit that? Stormy Daniels, a porn star. Do you think she walked up to Donald Trump and was like, the way that little raccoon is laying on his head? Oh my God, I can't wait to touch it. Fuck no. He was rich. He got his own fucking plane. He got Melania Trump. He's had beautiful women. Ivana Trump, beautiful woman. Melania, not my thing, but she's still a beautiful woman. The probability of him getting that type of woman, if he was not a so-called billionaire, rich mogul, whatever, is pretty fucking low. If he worked at the post office, he would have no fucking chance with her. He knows it, and he uses his opportunity, and I ain't mad at him, because that's the system we all live in. Coochie is the oldest currency in this world. On this fucking planet, if we travel to another planet, that's going to be the currency on that planet as well. Coochie. I see a raccoon out there. Hey, Amanda, I see you out there, darling. Amanda said, fuck you, I never would. But we see there are women who are banging him because he's got money. We see guys all the time, and you look at them and go, what the fuck did he? Oh. And when men look at that, we just look at another man and go, I ain't mad at you. Do what you got to do, player. If you got the money, you know, you got some people say it ain't tricking if you buy it, if you can afford it. If you got it, it ain't tricking. If you're going to pay for the pussy up front, whatever, however you get it, really, short of taking it, use whatever you got. It just is what it is. So men have never, ever, ever been confused about their station in life. If a man married a fine woman, he fucking knows he got lucky. He knows it. Guys like, yeah, I married up. Guys walking around with trophy women. Not being funny, but some guys, you look at them and you go, oh, and think about this. When you see a woman and you see it, then see her husband, quite often the thing is, oh, she is so, ooh. Men be looking at each other like, how'd that happen? And the crude, crass version of me would say, that motherfucker can lick his eyebrows with his tongue. That motherfucker eating some pussy so good, and I ain't mad at him. If you got that long ass tongue that you can, put right here in the middle of your forehead, more power to you. Hey, worst case, I may want to watch and learn something. Shit, I ain't mad. But the reality is that is just the world we live in as men. We know what our limits are. Men in general, not Trump. I got you, Amanda. Thank you, Kara, for clarifying. Men have always known what let's just use the word qualify, what we qualify for when it comes to women. Me, I am an old school OG chubby chaser. I was in first grade going, God damn, look at old girl, thickum right there. Thicker than peanut butter. That's the way I like it. Always have liked it. So all this whole, a woman has to be skinny and all that, that's just what I've always been naturally attracted to. A beautiful woman, I don't care what size she is, especially if she knows how to dress it. And damn it, if she don't know how to dress it, I'll dress her for her. I'll buy the clothes. I know how to dress a woman. All curves and all, don't matter to me. God damn it, I got you. But the bigger principle is every man knows what his limits are. And if he get lucky and get some coochie above his Let's just call it station above his norm. Norm, that's the word we'll use. If a man gets some coochie above his norm, he knows it. He knows he got lucky. He gonna call all his boys if he immature and be like, yo, you ain't gonna believe this shit. I was at the bar. I met this chick. We went home for a one-night stand. Okay, cool, you know. But he knows that's not his norm. That's not his everyday life. A man could work around supermodels. He could have a job where he is photographing supermodels every single day. That man is never confused about that those women may not be on his level or in his normal dating pool. Every now and then he might slip up and, you know, be able to get some pussy from one, but his standards don't go up because he got lucky one time. He knows better. It was a fluke. Go with it. It's your fucking happy memory. Be proud of it. You know, keep that in your, you know, your back. You know, when you sitting around telling stories, hopefully no names, you know, you go, man, one time, whatever the case may be, you know you got lucky. Fast forward to 2024. One of the reasons I wanted to do a podcast is because I've always noticed that so many people are not in relationships who want to be in relationships. The struggle of hearing people describe the challenges they have in meeting someone. As an adult male, I know things that I can do to increase my opportunity for meeting, let's say, a more quality woman. There's enough people out here. Everybody's fucking, it's a hookup culture. Let's not be naive about this. We live in a hookup culture. Less people are getting married, but more people are fucking and having kids. That's just, it is what it is. We live in a hookup culture. But I hear a lot of people say they want to get married, but they don't have people who are suitable to choose from. And I think the challenge is people just are not being realistic. And I'm going to have to narrow some of this down because plenty of men who may go, ooh, you know, I want this type of woman. Okay, well, you ain't putting out that type of woman energy. Is your bread long enough? Are you making enough money to provide the type of life that that woman is used to or wants for her future? If not, get your bread up. Men, we hit the job and we make whatever money we got to make. Get a second job, whatever the case may be. There was a time I had a full-time job and 3 part-time jobs. I had 3 part-time hustles and I was going to school because I knew what type of life I wanted to be able to live and what type of future I wanted to be able to have for me and my family. And I wanted to be able to provide that to my family. Now, those who know me, I got lucky. I got a sugar mama, and I call her my sugar mama. I'm retired. My wife allows me to just kick back and take care of whatever I want to take care of. I got a couple hustles here and there, but I got money coming in. I'm good. I got my pension. I'm good. If I want to go to work, I can go to work. If I don't want to go to work, I don't have to go to work. My bread's still coming. My lifestyle is secured. Whether I never go to work another day in my life. And that's not trying to be a flex. That's just the situation that I bust my ass as a young man to provide for myself at this stage. Because as men, we know we're going to pay one way or the other. We're going to pay on the front end or we're going to pay on the back end. I chose to pay on the front end. A lot of times I had to skip a whole bunch of trouble, or I had to skip a whole bunch of opportunities. I had to skip a whole bunch of fun because I was working. My homies would be like, yo, man, we getting ready to do this. And I'm like, man, I got to study for this final. And they'd be looking at me like, man, why are you worried about that, man? You too young to be so focused on stuff like that. Now, them people have to get up and go to work. And all respect to people getting up, going to work, making an honest dollar. I could go make more money. I'm just happy where I'm at. I've been that ambitious guy chasing all of my dreams. Now, like Lil Wayne said, you know I'm a ball till they turn off the field lights, meaning death. The fruits of my labor, I'm enjoying them while they're still ripe. I'm not a huge Lil Wayne fan, but that's a line I try to live by. So I got my bread secured on the young end. So now I get to enjoy it on the back end. Not to mention, I do have a wife that works. Salute to her. She chooses to work. I've told her she can retire whenever she wants to, but she enjoys working, so she still has income coming in. But as a young man, I knew I had to secure the bread as part of securing the type of woman I wanted to secure. That's just the cold, plain reality. If I was broke, I probably wouldn't have the wife I have. She loves me for who I am. She loves my core personality. She loves the respectful man that I am. She loves my critical thinking mind. However, if I was working at McDonald's when I met her and went, would you like a large fry with that? I probably wouldn't have been able to do that. Day one, she was able to see that, wow, this guy's doing something with his life. He's focused. You know, I didn't go out and make a bunch of kids. I got one biological child and I have been blessed to raise stepchildren. But I didn't go out and make a bunch of kids because I knew I couldn't afford them. I knew I couldn't live the type of lifestyle. Some people will say that's selfish. Fine, call me what you want. It was my choice. I went to get a vasectomy. The doctor was like, "No, man, you too young." No, doc, I'm done. I'm done. So, men have never been confused about their station. Men have never been confused about what they got to do if they want a different caliber of woman. Men have never been confused about they got to put out some bread if they want to get some head. Bread equals head. Bread equals head. Now, you might be able to be funny, but most people don't want somebody funny and broke. So you got to be able to, provide as a man. My first responsibility as a husband is to provide and protect. Those two co-equal responsibilities are number one on my requirement for me as a man, for my family. Provide and protect. Those things are co-equal. You cannot have one without the other. You are right. Erica put up a good point. She said, it must be nice to be able to go to the doctor and get my tubes tied. I think it's fucked up that a doctor has a right and the legal ability to tell me I can't do that, or a woman can't do that when she wants to. I think that's completely fucked up, but that's for another topic. We will come back to that one because that is a very, very good topic. Because I did have trouble. I had to convince the doctor that I should be able to get a vasectomy at my young age when I only had one biological child. But men have never, ever, 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 ever been confused. If you an ugly dude and you got a fine woman, you know it. Other men never let you forget it. And even other women let you know. They may do it subtly, but they let you know. Men, when you walking out of a place with your woman on your arm, and when you walk past that table full of fellas, we already know those men are looking. They're going to turn around. I like to fuck with them. I recall walking out the club one day with my wife, and as we were walking out, we headed out. I turned around, caught the guy looking, and I just did like this to him. Ha ha! And he was like, "Oh man, no disrespect, no disrespect." I said, "No, I ain't mad at you for looking, because I know I'd be doing the same thing. We all do that. It's just the reality. That's who we are as people. We don't like to admit it. We don't like to claim it. We don't want to be transparent and show our flaws. That's just who we are. Let's transition this up. We talked about how men have known since kindergarten, since first grade, fifth grade, eighth grade, ninth grade, since being 21 years of age. Men have known where they fall, and they know if they have to do something to work harder to get the same results and be competitive with a more handsome version of their self. We know that. We're clear about that. That's just the game. It's been that way since the beginning of human history. It's not going to change. I'm going to lose some of y'all here because now we're getting ready to make the turn. Now we're getting ready to talk about the ladies. Ladies, I am concerned about you. Let me put this up front and first and foremost. I am concerned about you. Not enough people who want the option of a long-term relationship, a long-term marriage, or even the opportunity to get married are having those opportunities. Because from my perspective, I feel like people don't have realistic standards. And let me be more clear. I feel like ladies don't always have realistic standards or know where they fall into the hierarchy of other women. Men know we got to be competitive. We know we got to compete against all the pretty boys, all the guys with money, all the jocks. We know that. I don't know that I see the same level of cognizance when it comes to women. And I think the challenge that I'm seeing here is some of y'all single. I genuinely want everybody to be in a relationship where they are happy, where they are loved, they are protected. I have a double standard about some things. And I'm conscious of my double standards. I know what they are. I've done the work to understand where they come from. I've done the work to know what's at the core of it. I am seeing more and more ladies on street corners begging for money, where usually it was always men panhandling. Now I'm seeing more and more ladies out there panhandling. That bothers me. That shakes my soul. That is, to me, that's showing that we have threads pulling away from the fabric of our society, because these quite often younger women are unprotected. I'm not saying you have to have a man to be protected or a man has to provide for you, but that's just the normal way we look at things. Even though women, y'all are killing the enrollment game when it comes to school. Y'all are the most enrolled in school. Y'all doing y'all own thing. Y'all making y'all own money. Plenty of y'all are. That's great. But none of that substitutes for having somebody in the door when you walk in to say, hey, baby, welcome home. Give me a hug and give me all that stress you picked up at work today. Take off your armor. I'm here. I got this. My shoulders are big enough to take all of this on. But when I listen to ladies talk in general, I'm not saying every lady, please don't hit me with this applies to every woman or every woman is not like that. No conversation we have that would fit into. So please don't hit me with that. We know that that's not the case. But it bothers me when I listen to ladies who want relationships and they have these standards, and quite often the standards they have They don't even meet themselves. I have no understanding of why so many women on dating shows that I watch. One of the dating shows that I watch is Kendra G. Shout out to Kendra G Media. Congratulations on the app, girl. You doing your thing. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. But watching this dating show, which is predominantly women, the things they come on asking for, I just sit back and go, what the fuck? Who does she think is going to live up to this? And it's not that the women have these such high standards, it's just that they're unrealistic. An example would be on a lot of the dating shows that I watch now, you will hear people say, or ladies, you will hear ladies say, yes, I have 5 kids by 5 fathers, all different fathers. I've never been married, but now I'm on a celibacy journey. And the goal is I will not have sex until I am married. Okay. Is that possible? Yes. Is that probable? Fuck no. Especially if you aren't in a church setting where you're looking for a man who has the same values as you. If you have that setting on if you have that standard and you're on Plenty of Fish, probably not going to happen. If you have that standard of, yes, I have 5 kids by 5 men, as a man, you're going to have to come and provide, but you ain't getting no pussy until you marry me, and I'm going to require that you're going to marry me. And by the way, I'm so old at this point, I'm not having any more kids. That's a bad deal for a man. And your probability of finding that is fucking minuscule. You probably have a better chance on some fucking lottery tickets. I always say lottery is a tax on people who are bad at math. Yes. Do people win all the time? Absolutely. But the statistical probability is not in your favor. And I don't want to see these women shaking the cup at the intersection while I'm in my nice air-conditioned car riding past them. I can't save them all. I got a cape, but I can't save them all. And most of that could be avoided if we just had some honest conversations. Now, I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to go back to the men for a second. I'm going to put this out there. Women would be much better off if we told them the truth. If we got the balls to be honest and say what we were honestly thinking and telling them what we really felt versus what we were telling them just to try to get some pussy, women would be in a much better position. That won't solve everything, but that would at least put women in a much better position. And the reason I say that, because a lot of the even guests on dating shows who have great things to offer, they confuse the men who will have sex with them versus the men who actually want to date them and marry them. Huge difference. There's a huge, huge difference in that. So that's one of the challenges that we see. Let me take a break for a second and look at the comments, see what we got. Because you all be dropping some pearls over here in the comments. Kara said, no coochie comes with the shopping trip, though. Some people, they'll shut down the mall for you. Fabian said, I know it every single day. Probably talking about where we stand as men. Got a couple labs here going here. My cousin Joey said, I get in trouble every time I get on here. Hell, I'm gonna probably be in trouble when I get off of here and walk in that room and look at that woman. That's cute, but is she walking into a relationship with a lot of baggage? That's a lot to take on in a healthy relationship. The crappy guys are gonna slide in saying the right things to take off the responsibility or take off when the responsibility comes in. Yep. Amanda hit us with, I just haven't found a man that wants the commitment. They don't want to communicate and they can't stand that I can and will do it on my own. True. All right, we're back. True. Men, most of this is our fault. We fucking lie because not that we lie, we may lie by omission. We may say, oh, I really like you. We just don't finish the sentence and say, because I want some pussy from you. We may say, you are a really nice girl, just not for me to be in a marriage with. We got to finish the sentence, men. We have to do that. Now, in order for us to do that, ladies, you have a part to play. You have to be willing to hear us and not hear what you want to hear. We owe you honesty, and we are fucking wrong for not giving it to you. But we owe you that honesty. And when we give you that honesty, that gives you as a woman first right of refusal. That's always my thing. First right of refusal. You know where I stand. You know what I'm offering. You know if I'm only offering some inches, then you get to make a choice and go, oh, yeah, I think I want to give you some coochie because you're a nice guy. Or you can say, you know what? I really am looking for a relationship that's going to lead to marriage. And especially those who say, no, I don't have sex outside of a relationship. Okay, man, don't play games. It took me a long time to learn that. I'm not saying I'm innocent of this. I contributed my share to the problem as a young man. First to say I fucked up. And for those women, if you happen to be watching, my bad. I'm grown now. I've grown up. I've matured. I wasn't as honest as I should have been. I maybe could have been more candid. And there's still plenty of women willing to give me some coochie. I had to learn that if you are honest with a woman, most of the time you can still get the coochie if that's what you want. Just give her first right of refusal. So, men, we've accepted our responsibility in this. Ladies, we are accepting our responsibility for this part. Now, back to the ladies. Ladies, y'all got to have some realistic fucking standards. If you are not seeking a man on, let's just say Christian Mingle, if we're going to talk about dating apps, if you're not willing to date a man or not have sex with a man until marriage, then maybe your ass need to be on Christian Mingle. Adult Friend Finder is not the place to be. What used to be Black Planet, that is not the place to be. Craigslist, that is not the place to be putting in personal ads. Hell, Our Time, the dating app for people 50 and over, hell, a whole bunch of people fucking on there. That is probably not the place to be if that is what your standard is, and you are entitled to have that standard. Hey, Katrina, I see you, darling. Uh-oh, Jessica said, I think our turn is coming. Yep. Ladies, y'all got to have some realistic dating standards. When I watch, let's just talk about this. Men get canceled for being honest. Ladies, you cannot punish a man for being honest. If a man says, I don't like fat girls, move on and don't be butthurt about it. There's plenty of men who like big girls. I'm an OG chubby chaser. Come here, girl. I'm going to squeeze up on all of that. There's plenty of men who like that. But when a man is honest with you and goes, no, you're not my type. Check your fucking ego. Check your ego. You've had so many men trying to get pussy from you for so long, you're not used to rejection. Men, when we get told, nope, you're not what I'm looking for. And if we're fortunate enough to be able to ask the question of, well, what's wrong with me? Or what don't I meet about your standards? Fuck, we take those words, we take them to heart, and we go get better. Women, you just say, fuck you. I didn't want your ass no way. But that's not helping you. Is it hard? Is it a crush? Is it a smack to the ego? Yes. Men, we've been getting our ego crushed so long, we're okay with it. We're like, all right, cool. I'll just go work harder. I'll go hit the gym. You know, I'll go get a haircut. I'll get edged up. I'll grow a beard, whatever the case may be. Man, we just do it. Women, when you get told that you are not what a man is looking for, take it. Take it in stride. I'm not saying a man should be rude to you and go, no, I ain't fucking with your ugly ass, blah, 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 blah. But if a man is like, nah, you know, no, thank you, you're not my type, or whatever the case may be, or if you want to pursue, if you're trying to turn a fuck buddy or a friend with benefits into more than that, into a relationship, and he's not wanting that, accept it for what it is. Ask what you could do better for your future, not with that guy, because that guy's already marked you off. But women, this is getting ready to hurt. I say this with love. I say this with compassion. Just because y'all got people who want to stick their dick in you does not mean those are your dating options. Those are your friend with benefit options. Those are your fuck buddy. Those are your cut buddy. That's your jump off. That's your sneaky link. Don't confuse a man who will take you out to get something to eat in public because he wants the draws with a man who will take you on as a wife. Now, before somebody hits me with the, I don't want to hear about this wife thing. Every woman don't want to be a wife. Okay, fine. You may not want to, but for me, that's the standard. That is the only standard that we can truly measure. Getting married, not having kids, not we live together, not his mom calls me mom, we got credit in each other's name, none of that. Married. And I know marriage isn't as appealing as it used to be. But part of the reason that it's not appealing as it used to be when our grandparents were married for 40 and 50 years, because grandma didn't tell you the truth. Grandpa didn't tell nobody the damn truth. Grandpa had a whole nother family. If your grandfather owned an Oldsmobile 98 or a Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham, you got siblings you know nothing about. And when you go to his funeral, you be looking at folks at the funeral going, damn, we look a lot alike. That's because y'all fucking siblings. Grandma knew it. Grandma chose to stay in that relationship because back then, grandma did not have the freedoms you all have today. Grandma could not have a bank account in her name. She could not have a job. She could not go and buy a car. She couldn't buy property. She stayed with her father until it was time to be married. And a man essentially walked up to her father and said, hey, I would like to marry your daughter, or I would like to take your daughter out because I want to marry, or I like to date your daughter. And hopefully that's who they got married to. And they stayed together for so long. But now, just because you make a little bit more money and you have more options, congratulations, happy for you, all those things. You have more education. You have plenty of options to decide what you are willing to accept and what you are not willing to accept. That's it. Great, no problem. But you have to be realistic in it. We got our first guest in the lobby tonight. We're going to let my man Omar in, see what he's talking about. Omar, welcome to the show.
Oh shit! I didn't know what I was doing. How you doing, brother? I know I was chiming in.
Oh, okay. What's going on, brother?
Nothing much, man.
Welcome to the show, Omar. Tonight's topic is about relationships, and we started this show off talking about the reality of men knowing where we stood essentially all our life in the dating market. And my concern is that women of today don't understand well where they fit in just because there's people trying to have sex with them. What are your thoughts on the topic?
I agree.
Okay. Let's go back to the beginning. When you were growing up as a young man, did you understand from an early age where you stood in the pecking order of being desirable to the opposite sex?
I was a shy kid, and so I wasn't into. Folks didn't like me, and I didn't like them necessarily. But I didn't get my bearings till I was about 19, 20.
That's when you gained your footing.
Yeah.
Okay. I can dig it.
Actually, when you're echoing.
I'm echoing.
Yeah.
I thought we had worked that issue out with the mix minus. I'll see if I can tackle that for our next show before we do our next show. Hopefully you can bear with me. We lost your audio, Omar. We can't hear you. Did you mute yourself? Uh-oh, Omar, we cannot hear you.
How's that?
There we go. We got you back. Welcome back.
All right. Yeah, man. I typed in to listen, and I guess I hit a wrong button and came in and see your podcast. So I was.
Omar, you are a father. You got kids who are older, and they're now starting to find their footing in the dating market.
True.
When your son is out looking for a mate, looking for a girl to build his future with, I hear a lot of young men say they have challenges finding somebody because first of all, it's hard to find somebody without kids. Mm-hmm. And from my perspective, okay, everybody gets one. Any and everybody can have one oops. But now when you start talking about folks having 4 and 5 oops and 3 and 4 oops, or choosing to have children and not be married, but then come along looking for a husband to be a provider for all of those kids, I think it's a hard pill to swallow. What about you?
Absolutely.
I definitely.
I'm kind of both sides of it. My wife now, I had 3 kids from a marriage previous when I met her, and she had none. And so that was a hard pill for her to swallow. But here we are 26 years later, and all is good. But we also had we were in it for each other and making sure that we did the right thing for each other and for our families.
Okay.
So it was a little different, but like you said, folks nowadays, whether it be girl or guy that has that luggage, don't call it baggage, they have that luggage with them. You can't expect everybody to jump on that. You know what I mean? Because and like you said, especially if you have multiple folks, baby daddies and mamas. Well, what was your what was your thought process? Stability. That from a guy's standpoint, that's a lot of child support, right? From all these different angles, right? So what do you bring to the table after paying all these child support, right?
Oh, wait. You just said the word that, or the phrase that triggers a lot of ladies.
Yeah.
What do you bring to the table?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's both sides.
Yeah,
that's both
fair,
sides.
Absolutely. Men know we
both
have to come and provide a table. We know that. That's been the understanding for men since the beginning of time.
That's correct.
You brought up a point, though, I want to ask a question about. It's good that you're here so I can ask you this question. Do you view a man who went out and had three, or let's go with a woman. Since you're a man, let's go with a woman. Do you view a woman who went out and had 3 children by 3 different men differently than you view a woman who was married and had 3 children within the relationship of marriage? Do you measure those equally?
No.
Tell us about it.
No, it goes back to the decision making. Or what you were doing at each juncture in that time. Like what made you, even from a man or woman, what made you think about that, right? You weren't protecting yourself or your children because you got to deal with the we deal with it now with our kids. Some feel that they don't get with everything that the younger kids have, and they think it was because it was from my ex-wife. Well, no, it's because I was poor and young.
You were still grinding hard back then.
Right. So now we're more established. I got time, stuff like that. So it's a slippery slope, man. You just got to be open and to both sides. You got to be open and understand other people's feelings. I have this conversation a lot with my kids. Is that it ain't about how you want to treat people, how you feel about treating people, how they want to be treated, right? So the expectation needs to be set out in the beginning. Look, this is what I expect. This is what I'm doing on either side of it, right? And if either one of y'all can't come to terms on that, then y'all need to be friends and not have any more children.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because again, I look at everything from an expense standpoint.
We're men. As providers, we have to, or as single providers, a woman has to. For example, Amanda said, at this point, my youngest is graduating this year and can care for themselves. Amanda's already been through that process where she had young children grinding that she's taking care of, from marriage or whatever the case may be. And now her kids are getting older. But especially when you have smaller kids, that's a harder pill to swallow. One of the things that some people don't think about is you got me on another platform in the background.
I think that may be it.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably where the echo is coming from. If you could turn that one down, hopefully that'll solve the echo issue, because I could even hear it that time for the first time myself. One of the elements of this that I hear people talk about, or when I watch dating shows, we lost him. All right. We lost Omar on that one. Appreciate you stopping by, Omar. But that is some of the challenge. If a man is when I hear women, let's talk about this for a second. When I hear women who have children who have unrealistic dating standards, or what I believe to be unrealistic dating standards, what, from a man's perspective, I know I have to be able to provide. And what always doesn't come through for the ladies that I have a heated discussion about this with is, as a man, I have to think about something. I have to take on you as a wife. I have to take on 3 personalities from 3 kids or more, whatever the number is. Let's just say 3 kids. So that's 4 personalities I have to deal with. And if you happen to have children from 3 different fathers, that's 3 more personalities I have to take on. So it makes it hard as a selling point for me to consider taking on that many personalities. We are in a situation nowadays where women are not having children nearly at the rate, or you have a lot more women being responsible or making career choices or making family planning choices not to have children. And you're seeing a lot more people in the dating market who do not have kids. And that's coming from men and women. I want to share a video with you all that I watched that really blew my mind. And I normally am not big into posting other people's content, and I'm not doing this for the sake of critiquing the content from the content creator. This is a video from Kendra G. She hosts a singles dating show. She does it on Facebook, YouTube, and now she has an app. For those interested, go out and download the app, Kendra G Media. The first is 2 videos I want to show you. The first video, it's 31 minutes long, but we'll zip through some of this. But this video blew my mind when I watched it. I was watching this video thinking, oh my God, lady, I want you to find somebody in this world. And the problem when I saw the video, I thought to myself, okay, she never learned, as men had to learn, where we are in the ranking order and what type of woman we qualify for. In my perspective, I think she never learned what type of man she qualifies for, because I think her dating standards are absolutely unrealistic. I think they're stupid crazy. And the question is, if you cannot find someone to meet those standards, are you willing to be alone? And salute to Kevin Samuels. His thing was die alone. I worry that that's what's going to happen. CNN published an article back in February about the number of people over the age of 40 who have never been married. And this was from 2020 and 2021. But they just published this article this February of 2024. And the data was from 2021. It was mind-blowing that we were at a record number of Americans who had never been married at the age of 40. My concern is we're going in the wrong direction. And because we're not willing to have these tough conversations, that we're only perpetuating this, and it's only going to get worse. I'm going to try to share a screen here, and I hope my whole screen doesn't go green, because for some reason, every now and then this software I'm using, streaming software, locks up my entire computer and I have to shut down. If it does that, rest assured I'm coming right back. I'm going to try to share my screen here. I've downloaded these 2 videos. The first one, it's a 31-minute video. However, we probably won't watch the whole thing. I want you all to pay attention to the questions being asked and the answers being given. There is a disconnect, if you ask me, where we are not getting the exact answers to the questions.
Y'all be throwing me in the room. I can't. Hello, you ready?
Yeah.
What you eating, girl?
Hello. Oh, you want to see?
Where you at? You want to? Oh, that look good.
We got the fastest internet speed, hardwired, and it is buffering. As you can see from the, here we
I'm
go.
at the bar at the restaurant.
Oh, you got the
This is crazy. I've even downloaded this video. Okay.
bar at the restaurant. Okay. What's your name, girl?
My name is
Okay. We're going to go ahead and kill this. I will talk you through it. This woman, average looking woman. Oh my God, there's nothing wrong with being a average looking woman. She's not supermodel status. She's not what most men would call a 8, 9, 10. She's a good looking woman, beautiful teeth. Oh my God. If you wanted to find the video, her name is BG, and I'll put a link to the video in the comment section. The challenge is this woman is 35 years old. She is having dinner on a business trip at a hotel bar. Great, no problem. She decided to call into a dating show. The challenges come in when she is asked what type of man she is looking for. And she describes the typical man, what a lot of women use nowadays, the 3 6s, 6 feet tall, minimum 6 inches of penis, 6 figures, at least $100,000 in income. But she goes a little bit further. You can tell from the title, she wanted a man making, and she was more interested in a French man, and that's fine, that's her choice. But she wanted him to make $250,000 as a minimum salary. In this video, she describes that she has taken 4 international trips this year, or in a year, she does 4 international trips, and she stays at each location for 3 weeks each. 4 trips, 3 weeks each.
BG.
BG, where you calling us from?
The challenge is the average person does not have an employment where they can take off for 4 international trips and stay at each location 3 weeks. That is just not realistic. Most people, if they got a good corporate job, they get 3 weeks of vacation per year. If you're lucky, maybe you get 4. And based on what she does for a living, I'm going to assume that she has the ability to work from a laptop regardless, as long as she has an internet connection. Great. But you said you want a man who can keep up with you when it comes to traveling. How many men, especially men in her age range, because she still wants to have kids, she's 35 years old at geriatric pregnancy, 35 years old, not my words, that's from doctors. How many men can afford, first of all, the insurance requirement of $250,000? Men get cut out of relationships by women with no hesitation for things that let's talk about the things they cannot control. A lot of women on dating shows want the 3 6s, 6 feet tall. Only, I think, 18% of the population is over 6 feet tall. So you just cut your dating options significantly down to a small category. Now, in all fairness, this particular person said he didn't have to be 6 feet tall and he didn't have to have 6 inches of penis, but and 6 figures. But a lot of people on these dating shows, that's what their requirements are. Let's talk about numbers here, because it seems like people are bad at math. When we're talking about the number of people who are over 6 feet tall, you automatically just cut out some really good men, and you did so without a thought or concern about their feelings. That's an example of what I mean. Men have never been able to be confused about where we stand. Women will be like, nope, you're fat. Nope, you're under 6 feet tall. Nope, you don't make $150,000, or in her case, $250,000. Nope. Men just accept it, and we either choose to do something about it or we move in our option range. But this woman said he had to make $250,000. How many people make $250,000? Now, fortunately for her, she was open to all races. So if you look at the American income, if you go to the Census Bureau, how many people make $250,000? She flippantly said that like it was something so common, when it is absolutely not common at all. Somebody said she should call Trump. Most men don't make $250,000. When it comes to penis, she was realistic. She said he just had to be born with a penis, not somebody who went out and bought one. I get it. I ain't mad at her. That's what she wants. That's fine. So she didn't have a requirement on penis length. But when you watch these dating shows, women are common for saying, oh, he's got to have a big DICK. He got to have the inches. He got to be able to hit all these spots in the back. Whatever the case may be, the average size penis for a man, 5 inches. So if you lucky enough to get somebody with 6, 7, 8, 10 inches, you fucking lucky. But your statistical probability of finding somebody in that area goes down. But men have been cut off because some men just got little dicks. Men have been cut off because we're not 6 feet tall. Let's talk about those two things. The average height of a man is 5 feet 9 inches. Average dick size, 5 inches. Men have zero control over those things. Zero. There's nothing we can do to increase our height, and without extraordinary steps, you got the dick you were born with, and you get what you get. So when the women enter the dating show and coldly say, nope, he ain't 6 feet, no need in even reaching out to me. If he don't have at least 6 inches, no need in reaching out to me. And the other one, if he don't make 6 figures, at least $100,000. First of all, let's break down that figure, or the phrase 6 figures. We hear that so much on dating shows, and I think the problem is people don't even really comprehend what that means. If you say a person has to make 6 figures, technically what we're talking about is $100,000 to $999,000, $999.99. So to say 6 figures, that's a really broad number. You're talking from $100,000 to $1 million. So let's be more specific about that. However, that phrase has gained so much popularity that it's got people messed up, where they're coming around saying, oh, well, he's got to make 6 figures. So, okay, fine. We know it's minimum $100,000. The woman said something else that blew me away. She wants a man to be able to travel with her and keep up with her. Let's talk for a minute about the men who do make $250,000 a year. Do you really think a man who makes $250,000 wants a woman that he has to keep up with versus having a woman who will fit into his program and his life plans? That type of man got coochie being thrown at him left, right, center, like the dice game, LCR. He got coochie coming from all different directions. Panties are flying at him all day. He step over wet panties just like most men step over wet puddles in the rain. At $250,000, he got options. What is he getting for that? Because of her income, she has allowed herself to think, or in her education, she has allowed herself to think that those things move her up higher on the list. But here's what the dating show, the host does, Kendra G. Every time she asks the same standard questions. And when someone has a requirement like that, let's say $250,000, she'll ask them, do you typically date men who make $250,000? And sometimes the women will flat out say, no, I've never dated a man who makes $250,000. Well, actually, let me take that back. They don't come out and say that because their ego won't allow them to be that honest and transparent. But the host, she does digging. And back when Kevin Samuels was having conversations with people, he would dig in that. And Kendra, for example, she will ask them, do you normally date men who make $250,000? And the ladies will go, yes. They will confidently say yes. And then Kendra asks them one follow-up question, and it all goes to shit. What happens to those men? What happened to the men that you typically date that make that amount of money? If you watch this video, she says, oh, well, I friend zone those men. Why would you friend zone those men if that's the type of man you're looking for? And she gave all these excuses. Well, they're not attractive. They're not physically attractive to me, or they have different ideas about dating. Yeah, they may not want to be monogamous because they got pussy coming at them left and right, and they got options. Pussy come a dime a dozen. Most men have $1. Guys that got $250,000, they got pussy coming at them every direction. So the probability of finding one of them who wants you and wants to be monogamous with you, it's not looking good, sis. Not looking good. Be realistic in what you're looking for. When the host asked her some digging questions and said, okay, tell us about the men that are interested in you and that want to marry you, who are in that, or men who want to date you seriously, who are in the category of man you're looking for. She says, well, they're married. Okay, sis, if those men are married, then those aren't men who are realistically in your dating options. Those are men who want to fuck you. Again, don't confuse the men who want to stick their penis in you with the men who want to seriously date you and marry you. And I'm not trying to kill nobody's bubble. I'm not telling anybody to, not get what they're looking for in this life, but you have to ask the question. If you're 40 years old, 50 years old, and you haven't found that yet, your probability is getting lower and lower and lower. And while I have no problem with this woman's weight, I told y'all, I'm OG Chubby Chaser. She's a big girl. You don't normally see rich men walking around with women who are overweight because they don't have to. They got plenty of options. An average guy, he knows, he's like, fine, I don't care about a woman's weight. Doesn't bother him at all. He may even be partial to that. But that is not the norm at that income bracket. And that has to be understood. That has to be understood. So my bigger point tonight is, ladies, I love y'all. I want to see y'all happy. I want to see y'all in relationships. I want to see you all living fulfilled lives. But understand the difference between the number of men who are trying to vet you for marriage and the number of men who want to stick their dick in you. Please do not confuse the two. It is a huge, huge difference. Remove your ego from this. Look at your actual life and go, do I have quality men that I would actually consider dating and marrying, pursuing me for a relationship? If monogamy is your thing, do you have them pursuing you to be in a monogamous relationship with you? If you want to get married, do you have them vetting you to be a wife? Do not confuse because y'all hang out, y'all go on vacation, y'all live together. That doesn't mean a god darn thing. You are no closer to marrying those men than a stranger who has never met them. Don't confuse who will have sex with you with who is trying to marry you. That's all I'm just encouraging you to do. And remember why I want this, because I want to see more people happy. I want to see more people in relationships. I want to see more people married because most of the people I talk to, they ultimately would love to be married. And I'd be happy to see you married. Just don't confuse the two. Man, do not confuse the two. Want to see y'all happy and be married. Let's check the comment section. Let's see what we got here in the comments. Fabian said, but it sounds like she brings a lot to the table. Having a job that sends you abroad for 3 full months a year cannot be anything less than 6 figures. She made it seem like this was her vacation where she went and her job would pay for that. Yes, she brings a lot to the table, but let's have a whole hard, cold conversation. And this is going to sound callous. It is not intended to be. This is said with love. If you are young, if you are fine, if you are beautiful, gorgeous, maybe even pretty. Pretty is at the bottom of the scale. Bottom of the scale. Once you get past average on a scale of 1 to 10, 5 is average. Nothing wrong with being average. That's not an insult. That's where most people fall on the bell curve. But if you start getting into people who are in the 8, 9, and 10 range, they could be working at Starbucks. If it's a lady, she can be working at Starbucks. If she's got a good attitude, a millionaire will come and scoop her out of Starbucks, put her in a big ass house, and retire her right then and there as his wife. Fabian says she brings a lot to the table. Men who make $250,000 typically don't care about a woman's income. And to be honest, most men that I view as quality men who have already paid their dues in that area and can afford to provide a lifestyle, they don't care about a woman's money. Yeah, fine. You got an income. That's great. But when you're talking about men at that upper echelon, far away from my broke ass, those men don't care about a woman's money. So yeah, she brings a lot to the table, but who cares? And yes, she can afford to do that. But one of the problems is she specifically said to the host, oh, you're saying I should date down. So you think because a man makes less money than you, that means you're dating down? Maybe a man doesn't hold the same academic credentials as you, and that means you're dating down? Will any of that matter when you're 65 years old and somebody got to push you in your wheelchair to the doctor's appointment because you can't walk and your beauty has faded and you need a knee replacement or a hip replacement? You got osteoarthritis and your bones are breaking. When somebody has to change your colostomy bag because you can't get up and make it to the bathroom in time, will him being 6 feet matter? Nope. Will him having 6 inches of dick matter? Maybe, but for the most part, no. How about looking for a man based on quality characteristics before you immediately cut a man out by height, penis length? Because those are 2 things the man doesn't have control over, or maybe even income. How about start looking for character first? That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. So Fabian, you were right. She does bring a lot to the table. And but man, that's a hard pill to swallow. We got Angela in the house, my sister Hannah. She said at age 56, it doesn't matter. None of that. At 56, you want somebody to go to Costco with on Saturday. You want somebody who will share that $1.39 hot dog from Sam's Club with the Pepsi. You want somebody to push the cart while y'all walk through and look at stuff that y'all really don't need. But y'all just want the pleasure of looking up and down the aisle at everything. That's at the core of what matters. Let's focus on those type of things. When you're out at Costco, will that man hold your hand? Will he open the door for you? Will he hold your hand and walk proudly through Costco? Even though he's not 6 feet tall? Would there still be enough women looking at you going, girl, you look happy? Come on, let's just focus on substance. I really want to just see more people happy and in relationships. It's the little things. It is the little things. I thank y'all for rocking with me. We've gone on an emotional journey for me tonight. I just really want to see more people be happy, and that's part of what I will always use this platform for. And I thank you all for inviting me into your homes. I thank you all for sharing your perspectives with me. Feel free to call in. I'm going to ask that you do me a favor, and my call to action is please like the video. Go out and follow me on the Facebook page. It's called Framily Talk. TikTok, Framily Talk with a number 5. Instagram, Framily Talk with the R, FRAMILYTALK. The YouTube page is Framily Talk. Please, I'm asking that you go out and like the page, trying to build up a following. I love you guys. I have an email address set aside just for this. If you have topics or things you would like to discuss or like to see discussed, email me at framlytalk@gmail.com. Drop an email with a topic in it. If I need to do some research on it, great. If you do the research on it first and put it in there, great. I'd love to have you on to talk about it, and you can share what you found. I'll do some research on it, share what I found. Feel free to join the conversation. I love you guys. Thank you. I appreciate you all coming out. Much love and salute. Catch you guys on the flip side for our next episode. Find somebody to love you. Find somebody who is going to hold your hand when the time matters. Find somebody who will stroke your hair laying on the couch as y'all doze off to watching the nightly news, watching Golden Girls as the end of the night winds down, Mike and Molly, King of Queens, whatever it is y'all watch on TV, just so you'll have somebody there of quality who loves you, who will provide, who will protect, who will be your friend. Good luck to y'all. Good night, folks. Salute.